Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about some new tariffs and developments in trade policy that will affect both trucking and freight. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about these new policies, trade policies, developments that are happening now that Trump has taken office, and what is going to mean for truckers, for company drivers, carriers, owner operators. There are some changes coming into effect. Now, we made a video prior to Trump taking office, kind of looking forward to what was going to potentially change and happen. Now, most of what was said in those videos has remained true at the time of this recording. However, these are things that are going to affect the freight markets and truckers in turn over the next several months. So I think this is definitely very important information. Now, again, I'll leave cards throughout the video in a corner here. You guys can take a look at that. And I think generally once you get through some of these videos, you're going to have a very good understanding of what you can actually expect, how you can pivot, and how you can take advantage of these market fluctuations. And market fluctuations we are certainly seeing in today's market. Now, what we got going on today, guys, is a potential for new tariffs that will be hitting the market, which may cause delays and all sorts of market fluctuations. Now, again, this is all tied down. We've talked about this in the past, how a lot of manufacturers, a lot of retailers, a lot of companies that produce freight and that gets shipped out, we're actually changing their orders and trying to actually kind of stock up on stuff because they were expecting increases, because tariffs generally increase costs. And so they wanted to make sure to stock up prior to these laws going into effect. Now, what this is actually having is imports may actually end up slowing down because of these pre-orders, larger shipments, some of the bigger spikes that we saw in the markets prior to the end of the year, the closing out of the year, then getting into January, because we have seen some pretty decent rates. And as we'll actually see in today's video, definitely stick around for that. But there are also other reasons. So, of course, we have these policy changes that may certainly affect the way things play out. However, there's also seasonal changes, and these seasonal changes aren't American seasonal changes, if you wish. We're looking at the Asian continent. The Lunar New Year is upon us in China, if you will, and that's a big deal because just like for us, we have Thanksgiving, New Year, Christmas, and some of the bigger holidays, 4th of July, they have the same thing over there. And this actually affects the supply chain. Considering how much stuff we get from China annually, this has an effect on freight volumes, tonnage, et cetera. This year is no exception. Now, moving forward, what we're looking at is the shippers, besides these supply chain disruptions that are already expected, but shippers may actually end up rushing and or delaying orders, thus creating short-term surges and or drops in demand for freight, for trucks, for availability. Now, what this ultimately means is that there could be port congestion, there could be slowdowns at ports. And we're seeing record-breaking numbers for Texas, Corpus Christi, Houston hit some numbers. I believe wasn't Houston, or maybe it was Houston that hit some record-breaking numbers. Georgia seeing some big numbers. They haven't reported just yet, but they did say that year over year was above. So the increases. Same thing with, like I said, Texas. So look forward to some port congestion, slowdowns. These things could impact loads, rates, and freight volume. Now, right now, it's looking like a good thing. However, again, this could just completely go upside down and stand up on its head. Now, additional issues could be seen in scheduling. They may become more unpredictable. So be aware. Communication, I always talk about this, super important. Communication is one of the most important things that you could do, specifically with your truck dispatcher. You're working one-on-one with our guys, communicate. You got their direct lines, you got their emails, communicate with your dispatchers, communicate with shippers, communicate with brokers, You want to make these relationships stand out. This guy really communicates. This guy really produces really clean BOLs. This guy really picks up the phone. He delivers on time, picked up on time, no issues. You want to build up these types of relationships, and that's why you have your dispatcher to work on your behalf. Now, keep a close eye on fuel prices. We are seeing some fluctuation there. Things are becoming more expensive. Operating costs are increasing for many of you guys. And as these market shifts, you definitely want to make sure to keep an eye on all of your biggest impact items, your insurance, your expenses, and then your revenue side, of course. And so, of course, I highly recommend working with a strong dispatcher. But all these things will impact your profitability, your bottom line. Definitely keep a close eye on all of these things. Now, volumes and tender rejection rates are increasing. That's a beautiful thing. That's a great thing. However, oddly enough, strangely enough, and certainly unfortunately, rates are decreasing. However, I want to tell you this, kind of toot my own horn here, apparently not for our drivers. You'll definitely want to see the rest of this video. I've broken it up into chapters. You'll see some newcomers. You'll see folks that are running super efficiently. Couldn't be more proud. You guys are definitely setting some different trends that are out there. Guys, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. If you haven't done so, please smash the like button for us. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and if you're brave, share the video out there on Facebook, other social media. We'll definitely appreciate that. For now, I'll switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads that we booked for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, this week is interesting, vans and reefers, but we have some folks that are making incredible amounts of money, running very efficiently, very limited deadhead, and some of these guys or gals are new. So guys, let's jump in. Let's go ahead and get started with Mike and his reefer. Coming out of Kennewick, Washington, going to Lancaster, Texas, 40,500 pound load of frozen veggies. It was pre-cooled to -10, ran a -10 on a reefer, 1,878 loaded miles, tons of miles. Booked at $5,000, gets you $266 a loaded mile on a ton of miles. Then Mansfield, Texas to Urbandale, Iowa, 38.5 load of flooring, accessories, some hand tools and adhesives. Now, this is an interesting one. It's 752 loaded miles, booked at $1,405, which is fantastic. That's $187 to come out of Texas, to come out to the Midwest and Iowa. An excellent job. And that's where we see it, because the next load was at Rochester, Minnesota, coming out to Denver, Colorado. Longer run, very light load, 28.5 on a load of cheese. 882 loaded miles, booked out at $2,600. That's just under $3 at $295 a loaded mile. An excellent job, Mike. Thursday to Thursday, 7 days on the road, ended up grossing $9,005. So you got it, $9,000 in a week, 7 days. They're in 3,512 loaded miles, 254 deadhead miles. So he ended up running this at $256 a loaded mile, and with deadhead included, dropped it down to $239. Very respectable numbers. Fantastic week for this reefer. Way to go, Mike. Next, we have a dry van. This one I have to absolutely highlight. The driver on this one is Tricia. This is her first week basically out on the road with this carrier, a new driver for this carrier, and absolutely blew it out of the water, guys. Dry van coming out of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, going to Fredericksburg, Virginia. Light load, 5,600 pounds of miscellaneous FAK, 243 loaded miles, booked at $950, got her $391 a loaded mile. Next one, Capitol Heights, Maryland, going to Schenectady, New York. It's a load of bundles of something. 44,000 pounds on the way, 388 loaded miles, booked at $1,300, got her $335 a loaded, $335 a loaded mile. Then Gloversville, New York, with a 1-pick 2-dropper going to, looks like Tarboro, North Carolina, and Greenville, North Carolina. Another light load, 5,000 pounds of boat parts, 690 loaded miles at $2,000. That's $290 a loaded mile. Very impressive. Then Battleboro, North Carolina to Norfolk, Virginia. It's a 20,000 pound load of bottles. Again, light load, 134 loaded miles at $650. That's a steal, $485 a loaded mile. Then Newport News, Virginia, coming out to Danville, Virginia. It's a 44.5 load of beverages, 221 loaded miles of $725. Got her $328 a loaded mile. Then right out of Danville, zero deadhead coming out to Gosh, this name here, Conshohocken, something like that, Pennsylvania. Tough names. 42,000-pound load of furniture. 380 loaded miles, booked at 1,050, got her 271 a loaded mile. 7 days on the road, Wednesday to Wednesday, gross $6,675 in gross. I'm getting tongue-tied over here. 2,064 loaded miles. Ended up running that at $3.23 a loaded mile. She did have 165 miles of deadhead, which is minimal, and that dropped her to $2.99 a loaded mile, just under $3 average with deadhead included. So absolutely an excellent week for this driver. She's new. I think, Mike, you think you found yourself that good driver you've been looking for. So an excellent job. Hats off to you, Tricia. Keep going. Excellent job. Let's see. Next one, we have David in a dry van coming out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, going to Railroads, Indiana, 40,000-pound load of Shep pallets. 155 loaded miles at $1,000, got him $645 a loaded mile, regular dry van. Then Indianapolis, Indiana, coming out to Morristown, Tennessee. It's a 39,000-pound load of food products, 363 loaded miles at $1,475, got him $406 a loaded mile. Then Greenville, Tennessee to Pageville, South Carolina, 43,000-pound load of water, 248 loaded miles, booked at $1,000, got him $403 a loaded mile. Then Richburg, South Carolina, coming out to Anniston, Alabama. It's a super light load, 2,500 pounds of food product, 2,500 pounds, 354 loaded miles at $1,200, got them $339 a loaded mile. Then right out of Anniston, Alabama, zero deadhead coming out to Hamlet, North Carolina, 42,000-pound load of packaging materials, 409 loaded miles, booked at $1,000. Bucks, got him $244 a loaded mile. And then finished off real strong out of Lawrenceburg, North Carolina to Bluefield, West Virginia. So all the way up in the east now. So 44,000-pound load of miscellaneous FAK, 238 loaded miles at $800, got him $336 a loaded mile. So an excellent job. Just one load under $3. Absolutely fantastic. One load over $6. An excellent job. Thursday to Thursday, David ran 1,767 loaded miles, gross $6,475 in gross regular dry van, got 366 a loaded mile, and then with the deadhead, he had 169 miles of deadhead. That dropped it down to 334. A very good week, very respectable. And, good luck coming out of West Virginia. But last week, the guys pulled out another driver out of West Virginia for fantastic money. So hopefully the same thing happens to you. An excellent job. Excellent job. Moving on to, let's take a look. Michael and his reefer. Totally different approach. The previous driver took a bunch of short runs. Same thing with Tricia. And Michael here with a reefer did a different approach. One pick, 4 drops coming out of Vernon, California, going to Joplin, Missouri, and Stratford, Missouri. Also in drop in Litchfield, Kentucky, and Nicholasville, Kentucky as a final. All in all, 30,000-pound load of frozen pastry, -10 on a reefer, 2,186 loaded miles at $6,100. Got him $279 a loaded mile. And right out of Moorhead, Kentucky, took a load to Livonia, Michigan. Finished off the week, 42,000-pound load of mixed produce at 52 degrees on a reefer. 366 loaded miles, booked at $11.50. Got him a real nice cherry on top, or gravy. That's $314 a loaded mile. Very efficient. $7,250 in gross in 7 days. Ran 2,552 loaded miles. Only 75 miles of deadhead. Ended up running this at $284 a loaded mile with deadhead included, dropping down just to $276 with deadhead included. So an excellent gross, great average, very low deadhead. Some of the freight's a little bit lighter on a ton of miles, so an excellent job. No complaints. Let's take a look. Next, we got Rogelio coming out in his drive-in out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, coming out to Ankeny, Iowa. Super light load, 4,754 pounds of engine parts, 380 loaded miles at 1,020, got him 268 a loaded mile. Then Earlham, Iowa, coming out to Palmetto, Georgia. Another light load, 14,000 pounds of medical products, 943 loaded miles at $2,500, got him 265 a loaded mile. Then LaGrange, Georgia, coming out to Anderson, Indiana. It's a 45,000 pound load of plastic product, 636 loaded miles at $830. That's $1.31 on that one. Got him to move to another market. Then they did a 2-pick 1-dropper at Tipton, Indiana, and Remington, Indiana for the picks. Drop in Leland, Mississippi. 2 picks, 1 drop, light load, 16,000 pounds of seed. 631 loaded miles out of $2,000, made it all worthwhile. $317 a loaded mile. And here's the kicker, guys. Rogelio drove for a week, Thursday to Thursday, regular dry van, $6,350 in gross, ran 2,590 loaded miles, only 112 deadhead miles, which got him $245 a loaded mile, then dropped him 10 cents to $235 with deadhead included. So an excellent job, and he finds himself in Mississippi for next week. So way to go, sir. Last but not least, we got an excellent, let's see, where are you at? There you go. Lyman and his dry van coming out of Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's a 1-pick 3-dropper going to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn, New York, and a final in Maspeth, New York. Not an easy run. 42,000-pound load of construction materials, 1,369 loaded miles at 38.50. Got him 281 a loaded mile. Then Long Island City, New York, going to Sandston, Virginia. 42.5 on the load of food products, 356 loaded miles at 11.75, got him 330 a loaded mile. I'm getting the feeling that Lyman might be a New Yorker, at least on the East Coast. Then Baltimore, Maryland, going to Lawton, Oklahoma. Got out of there, 43.5, white paper, 1,403 loaded miles at $2,300, got him $1.64. So an excellent job. Thursday to Thursday, Lyman ended up grossing $7,325 in gross, ran 3,128 loaded miles. All in all, only 160 miles a deadhead, so very efficient. Ended up getting 234 a loaded mile and 223 with deadhead included. An excellent week, everyone included. Way to go, guys. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around. Guys, the numbers might be decreasing for others, but not for us. You could see newer drivers bringing in well over $6,000. Some guys bringing in over $9,000. Lots of miles, really good rates, very efficient dispatching. No complaints. I absolutely have no complaints, and I wish these drivers the very best of luck next week. And hopefully I see some of these names repeating, telling me that they've had a good week after a good week after a good week. And you too can have a good week, even when the markets are decreasing, even when there's uncertainty, even when there are policy changes, the FMCSA changing things, new presidencies, all sorts of political upheavals, if you will. If you have a strong dispatcher who's experienced, who has the information, the knowledge, the data, the skill set, the abilities, you're going to do well. So if you'd like to get more information about our services and how to work with such dispatchers, and plus, whether you're a carrier or an owner-operator, we lease on owner-ops, we work with carriers, we work with your drivers, get in touch with us, 801-448-6363. Call or text that number, 801-448-6363. Call or text that number or go to our website at aftdispatch.com. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.